What's good, boy dudes and boy dudettes? And it is Boy Dude Reviews with another anime movie review. And today we are reviewing The Last Naruto the Movie, a 2014 Japanese animated film produced by Studio Pierrot and directed by Toshino Kobayashi, based on Kishimoto's manga and anime Naruto. It is the first feature film in the Naruto film series, which is part of the canon storyline set between chapters 699 and chapter 700 of the manga series. And what is the film about? Well, 2 years after the Great Ninja War, Naruto's ninja team go on a mission to stop the moon from falling and rescue Hanabi Hyuga, Hinata's younger sister, from Tonari Otsutsuki, a man who wishes to marry Hinata and punish mankind for weaponizing chakra. As well as this plot, Naruto and Hinata develop a romantic relationship during this adventure. And the film premiered on the 6th of December 2014. Kishimoto created new designs for the character since it is set 2 years after the events of the war, and Naruto is 19 in this. So they decided, let's just age him up. Let's make him look older. Instead of making them look like teens, they decided to make them look more like adults, and it works. And it's such a nice. Obviously, I'll get to the positives later on, but it's nice to see a new style in the way they look. They still look similar, but they just look more mature and older. And Kishimoto and the writers focused on the romantic relationships between the main character. Although Kishimoto was uncomfortable depicting romantic scenes, he enjoyed seeing the outputs. And the last Naruto film has been the franchise's highest grossing film before it was greatly surpassed by Boruto Naruto the film. And it was a critical success, with a number of writers praising its story for its focus on Naruto and Hinata's relationship and animation. However, its lack of appealing antagonists were criticized. And the Japanese home media release was one of the year's best sellers. And it is a story written. It is by Masahiro Kishimoto. He did do the story, and it is canon. And how did I think about this film? Well, I watched this film after getting absolutely sick and tired of watching those Naruto Infinite Tsukiyomi arcs. Basically, it was around about the time when Naruto was in this arc, and I was bored with those episodes. So I was like, I'm just gonna read the manga, and I finished the manga, and then I heard about two movies already being released. So I was like, let's just watch those films. And this film is for manga only fans. So I feel really bad for anime only viewers who see adverts of this film, because they're probably so into the Naruto Shippuden series in the war, and then you see this poster, you see these trailers of an older Naruto and everyone having a new adventure, and they're all looking grown up, and it's like, wait, what? Why is what's wrong with Naruto's hand? Why is everyone all grown up? It's like, what? I feel so bad, because this movie is a huge spoiler to anime viewers, but they do interesting things with it, with not actually spoiling too much of the events. And this is positive about this film. And let's talk about the positives. And there's quite a few positives. And the positive is how, despite this film being counted on the Naruto series, they actually made this film as original as possible. There was never any too many flashbacks to the war or to what happened or this or that. So even if you are into the anime and you watch this film by accident, don't worry, because they're not going to spoil too much. And I quite like how they didn't reveal too much of what happened during the war, in a way. They just say this is set after 2 years after the war. And I like how it's literally it's the beginning of a new era in a way. I love seeing how these characters have really changed, and the development, particularly Naruto, Sakura, and Hinata. I feel like those three in particularly have the best character development. Like Naruto, he is still your goofball knucklehead ninja, but he's very mature. The way he carries himself, not only is he a lot taller and older, but the way he like presents himself, he's a lot more mature, and he takes things way more seriously now, and I kind of respect him a lot more than I used to, in a way. And he does have this like, there's just this, he just carries himself a lot more in this movie. And Sakura, I have to admit, was amazing in this film. Like, people have always complained Sakura's useless, and I have to second guess that. In Shippuden, especially in the war, she was far from useless. She was the most useful person in the freaking war. Like, I rooted for Sakura in the war. That was like the best Sakura I've ever seen of her. And she's really useful. She's the one who kind of brings Naruto and Hinata together in a way. And she's the one who kind of makes Naruto she's the one who kind of makes Naruto see that Hinata loves him and all that. So yeah, great jobs with her. And yeah, Hinata, I have to admit, she really has come out of her shell. She does have a much bigger role in this film because the villain kind of has kidnapped the villain kidnapped Hinata's younger sister, and obviously she has more of a motivation to try and save her sister, and also she has this feelings for Naruto, and obviously, you know, as she goes, and she wants to do everything she can to save her sister, even if it means doing stuff with the villain. And she's literally trying to put her feelings aside of Naruto to try and save her sister. And I have to admit, that was really, really ballsy of her, you know. It was nice. And yeah, I absolutely love the romantic scenes. I'm not a dude who's so into romance and all that. I kind of see it as mushy gushy, but there was something so satisfying seeing Naruto and Hinata develop this relationship, and the parts where Naruto and Hinata are kind of like split up with the rest of the group, and they like kind of like go off and like just kind of like socialize. I don't know, there was just something so satisfying just seeing them talk and hang out. And Naruto has this kind of one moment where Hinata's hair is just blowing in the wind and the camera's just kind of panning on her, and there's a sunset in the background, and he's like, oh, she's beautiful. And it's just like, I think that's the moment where he's like, he loves Hinata, and it's just so adorable, and I just freaking love it, you know. Also, the animation is definitely the best out of any Naruto film I have seen today. It looks beautiful. This movie is beautiful. Like, my gosh, some of the landscapes are just so great. The way the cinematography, and I like how the film starts off with a flashback and then it cuts to the present day, and it's just, it's so great, you know. And like, I love some of the scenes with Naruto and the gang in space, or well, in the moon, and like there's this like kingdom on the moon, and I really do like it. It's done really great. Also, when Naruto and the gang are basically in this, I'm not too sure, it's this kind of passageway from their world to the moon world, and it's like I don't know, this one weird like scene. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot of water and you have to dive into it, and then it's like Naruto kind of sees flashbacks of Hinata and her love for him. And I don't know, just that whole sequence of Naruto going back in time for that little short, it's kind of a flashback, but he kind of like sees like the past, and like sees all the moments where Hinata had feelings for him, and he starts to realize and understand that, and I love those scenes. It was really great. I thought the music was also done really well. Like, yeah, it was very Shippuden music, but they kind of mixed the OG Naruto music with it as well, and it was kind of a mix of OG with a bit of new one. And yeah, I absolutely really liked it, you know. The dubbing, I would say the Japanese is a tiny bit better, which is really nice. I have to admit, it's a little better, and it's just really nice. we do get to see, I actually do like seeing the scenes at the beginning when everyone, like Naruto is this hugely popular guy now after his battle against Pain and him being the war hero. Like, he is so popular with girls. Girls are freaking giving him presents, they're giving him gifts, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like everywhere he goes, girls just trying to ask him out, and he's just so awkward, he doesn't know what to say or do, and it's like, oh. It's just, oh, so great. I actually really enjoyed those early scenes, you know, with, I don't know, just all the scenes with Naruto and Hinata were just the best, and anything that didn't involve the villain was just amazing. I freaking loved it. And sadly, this is where we come to our mixed aspects of the film, because I would say the mixed aspect of the movie, in my opinion, is definitely like okay, this is not mixed aspect, this is more negative, and it is the villain. I'm sorry, but everything with the villain, his backstory and everything surrounding this guy is just utter nonsense. This guy literally, the whole thing with the villain is just weak as flip. Like, I honestly feel like they needed a villain to kind of progress the story. But in my opinion, I think this film would have been far stronger if they focused on Naruto and Hinata's relationship and nothing else. Like, having this, like, villain, this murderer wannabe, come out of nowhere, and then and he just claims he has this hatred towards the earth for weaponizing chakra, and he wants to destroy the planet, and he just literally has this hugely over OP powers. Just like, what it just doesn't make any sense at all. And the whole backstory with him involving Sage on Six Paths and just everything, it's just Hamura, Otsutsuki, and oh my gosh, dude, I just zoned out. I zoned out because it's like, where the heck was this guy throughout the entire series of Shippuden? There was no mention of him at all. And then 2 years later, he just kind of pops up and he's like, yeah, I'm the bad guy now. It's like, they just wrote this villain in just because they wanted to. And it's the same with the next Naruto film, and we will get to that soon because, oh, I have mixed aspects of the film, that villain. But yeah, and then, I don't know, it just didn't seem right at all. I just zoned out entirely. And then he has this Tensagan, and he's just all of a sudden powerful than Madara, and even Naruto's struggling to fight him. It's like, what? This isn't right. This is not right at all, man. So honestly, that was just utter ball, to be honest with you. And honestly, maybe the pacing of the film was a little bit slow at times, just because like, they would focus on like the love story in order, and then they would cut to Tonari scenes, and I just kind of zoned out. It wasn't that great, to be honest with you. But this film wasn't too bad. I mean, it could have been better. Honestly, I wouldn't have turned it into a film. I would have turned it into like a mini series. Like, I would have like had these episodes after the war, and then end the Shippuden series. I don't know. Like, it was satisfying seeing Naruto and Hinata get together, but at the same time, it was like you had this whole backstory with this villain, and it just didn't do well for me. And honestly, I'm going to give this film definite 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a B plus. I do like the film, but honestly, it doesn't work as a film. It has issues. I haven't even covered all the issues, but I don't want to bore you guys. But thanks for watching this review. Please like and share this video and comment down below and tell me what's your favorite Naruto movie. With that said, thank you for watching. As always, Boy signing out.